Hey there. I've been away for a couple of weeks doing some family stuff and some work stuff, but I'm still doing truck things, just at a slower pace. The Travelall is still at the transmission shop. I got them a clutch to install last week after my first vendor dropped the ball and didn't ship anything. They did refund my money though. I'm just waiting on them to shuffle things around in the garage to get my truck back at this point. In the meantime, the Scout is getting some love. First up though, I picked up some parts from a fellow Travelall owner. So my friend Tyler out in Frederick with the lowered Travelall had gotten in touch with me a month or two ago about a bunch of parts he had left over from his project, said, come and get them if you want them. I offered him some money. He didn't want to take any money, but I really appreciate him sending me these parts. This is a lot of really nice stuff. I'll just go through these really quick. As you can see, 4 hubcaps, 2 are in really good shape, 2 are bent. That's not a big deal. This is the front clutch pedal hinge, I believe. There's a bunch of random bolts and things here. One good taillight pot. This is actually in really nice shape. That's an original and a taillight lens. This is a piece from the dashboard. I can't remember what that is. This is actually the rubber that the front clip sits on. This bolt is the center bolt that goes through, and that's actually in really nice shape. These are 2 miscellaneous suspension pieces. He put a Crown Vic suspension in the front of his truck, so he didn't need these anymore. A bunch of really nice seat belts. This is what I'm really excited about because my seat belts are garbage, but I am going to replace them eventually. Anyway, 2 good fronts. This is another third one with a funky clip that I've never seen before. I think this is a clip that goes in the back, and I think this might clip onto these pegs, which were countersunk in the wood in the back of the bed. I think that's what these are for, so that you can roll the seats forward and these come out, which is actually really cool. I've only got one of these that I see here. This is another rear seat belt here. You can see this roll-up thing has the IH logo stamped on it, which is really cool. And then these are all in really good shape. These all still have the original plastic. Most of the ones that I have, the plastic is pretty chewed up, so I can replace a couple of those. And these buckles are in really nice shape, so that's really cool. Got a bunch of gauges here. These are gauges I've never seen before. They're very big. Like this fuel amp oil temp is all very big. And then the speedo, the lettering and all this stuff is different than every other gauge that I have seen. So this is actually really interesting stuff. I'll have to do a little more digging into this and see what it is. Up here again, these are the 2 countersink pieces for the rear bed. These are bolts that go on the sides of the seats that actually clip into these connectors. These are the pieces that go on the wheel wells that these things basically snap into when you put the seats up or down. So that's really cool. I've already got a set of these, but I can pass those on to somebody who might need them. These are the turn signal indicators, and then this is a brake fail indicator, which goes to a circuit that I don't have in my truck, which is kind of cool. Oh, that's what these are. These are the countersink pieces for this. That's really cool. I just realized what those are. That's really awesome, because when I ditched the green truck, I didn't take these out of the green truck, and I've been kicking myself about it. That's really cool. I'm really psyched about this. This is awesome, because this, all I had to do is take some measurements and stuff, and I can put these in my truck. Very cool. Okay. 2 sets of horns. I'll have to bring them down to the bench and bench test them and see if they work. This one's freestanding. This is actually a washer unit this is the overflow tank. I'm sorry. This is the overflow tank, so I can actually add that to mine. This is actually I think it's a Scout piece, and I've got like 2 or 3 in my bin. So I could actually put this in my truck if I wanted to. Then I've got a dual master cylinder here for the brakes, which mine is only a single pot. I know I have another spare from the green truck in my spares, but I've got this one, and then there's a single pot for the clutch. Right now, all of my hydraulics go off of a single pot, which is really kind of stupid and dangerous, and I do want to convert it over to a dual pot. So I'll do that with this piece. This is really funny because there's a tag on here that says Sears Tire and Auto Centers reinstall confidence. God only knows how old that is. But yeah, that's what that is. So once again, you know, super thanks to Tyler. This is really fantastic. Really, there's a couple of things in here that I'm really psyched about, and there's a bunch of things in here that I can pass on to other folks. So, yeah, thanks again, man. This is an interesting difference between those two. They look very, very different. This one does have looks like a high beam indicator down there, like this one does. I could swap those in if I wanted to do a very different looking set of gauges. So, very interesting. I did some more research and found a 2-piece exhaust flange to replace the old bent one that came with my exhaust. So I spent a couple of hours fighting that to get it installed. Once I wallowed out one of the holes a little, I was able to fight it, the bolts, and the frame rail to get it all installed. The truck sounds a lot better now. When I get on the gas, I don't sound like the drums of doom advancing with an army of the undead. It still needs to be tightened up a little bit, but I'm going to call that fixed. I'm down under the Scout right now, and I've just tightened up the emergency brake cable, which one day decided that it was going to get really loose. I heard a pop noise or something, and it got really loose, and it turns out this part of the cable was fraying, so I'm going to need to get a new emergency brake cable, but for the time being, this is much tighter and should actually hold now. The rest of the underside of this thing is looking pretty good. There's another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to run this speaker cable a little bit better, I think, while I'm under here. Last Sunday, I gathered with the local Scout Mafia to head back up to the stash of trucks in the woods to see what they're worth and how hard it'll be to get things out. Original or the early plenum there.
Yeah. Oh, hello, spider. Look at that thing.
Oh, yeah.
That thing's badass.
Big one. Huh. Got the key. Try to fire it up.
Is our radio on? Turn that on.
Yeah. Some parts.
Oh, yeah. Other than the fenders, the rear fender, it's not too bad.
No, it really isn't bad. I mean,
This is a little Bondo, but you know.
Show me a Scout that doesn't have
Right.
a Bondo. We met up with Brendan, who owns Barnes IH up in Pennsylvania, and he gave them a price for the stuff he's interested in. In the meantime, Brian and I looked over the Tan Scout out in the field. He's currently cooking up a project to electrify his Scout 800, and I talked him into considering this rig as a proof of concept test rig before he starts tearing his nice truck apart. Me not have math.
It has a later transmission in it. That's why it's got metal tank here.
Okay.
Because the later transmission, it needed a hump.
I spent about 10 minutes with a pair of loppers, and another friend and I dragged all of the ivy off the back of it. It looks remarkably clean for having been out in the backfield for 10 years, covered in leaves. There's rust, and it's not perfect, but the running gear is there, and it should be a great test bed. I'm still trying to talk Brian into grabbing the blue one in a 2-for-1 deal. We'll see. Oh, yeah. Let it soak overnight with some Marble Mystery Oil.
Yeah. Dan and I bought this thing, went halves on it. We bought it for, I think, $500. And we were going to resell it. It had doors on it. The doors are back there.
Okay, yeah, they're the.
It had a top on it that was, the guy wanted a half cab.
Mm-hmm.
So we just cut the travel top in half.
Oh, okay.
So it had open back. There's no window. And then Dan got to driving it and he liked it. So he's like, I want to use this. I was like, well, we said we were going to sell it. I kind of want to get my money back. He's like, well, I want to keep it. I said, okay, well, what are you going to give me for it? So we ended up trading a soft top for my half of this truck. That's actually not. That Scout's not horrible.
No, it really isn't.
Way better than a lot of ones you see on eBay.
That's for sure. And it's got a rear seat.
You the four-wheeler. He used to ride he'd like take all the back trails up New Jersey. And those,
Oh, really?
I wonder he had any cartilage between his spinal cord about the time he got done.
The seats are about as comfortable as sitting on a block of iron.
That holds you in place, but we're not going to do you any favors when you're going over bumps. This is not one of the trucks that runs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he wants the 50s.
Uniroyal Fleetmaster Deep Lug.
Really? From 600, you overdo it.
That's right.
None of the titles have been found for the stuff out in the woods, and the brush has doubled since Bennett and I were up there last. So we offered a fair price for this rig, and we'll see what they say.
Ooh, tick. See? Feel it. I did. Sorry.
Yeah, I picked one off of Brendan's dad.
Oh, yeah?
It's climbing on his shoulder.
Joe's got something on my neck. I said, is it a tick? He's like, no, it's some other creepy crawly thing.
You know what these bases are out of?
Yeah, I don't know. They're not familiar.
Well, they've been kind of modified. And
Yeah.
They're very tall. They're scout shaped, but way
I
taller.
think the driver's side looks like that's the stock one, but this thing is
Yeah, probably out of a Bronco.
a little bird nest.
Really?
Yeah. No bird in it,
Huh? I guess I would. For a little bird, that's actually probably not half bad place to live.
Yeah.
Only the state dry in there. Yep. Oh yeah. Would be fun to have like a brand or something.
You don't feel easily, Dan. The tires are holding air. That's good.
Yeah.
It's worth $20.
Just a wee bit dry rotted, but holding on.
Yeah.
Then we hitched up the wagons and caravanned up the street to the local diner for some brunch. It's always fun to drive a bunch of scouts together. I was able to make a deal on 3 new hubcaps from the stuff that was in Dan's garage. He has a ton of hubcaps, but I grabbed these 3. These are really nice. These have this really cool sort of mottled section in the center, the like the pebbled section in the center. And these were 3 that were in the best shape. That one's got a little bit of a scratch to it, but just I think a little bit of hit with some steel wool, and these will shine right up, and they are good enough for what I'm looking for. The 2 that I got at Nat's don't have this, and they don't, I don't think they're chromed. I think they were originally painted, so they immediately started rusting. These will clean up really easy and go right on the truck. So I'm going to clean them up right now and see what I can do. I'd say that's cleaning up really well. I already like that. That looks amazing. I'm really happy with this. These 2 look great. There's only a couple of small dings in them, but that goes with the truck. I'm just happy they're super shiny. They look really good. This one's got a little more pitting in it. If I go back, I may see if I can find another, 1 or 2. But I'm, from 90 feet or 20 feet or whatever, this looks really good, and these two look fantastic. So I'd say that was a trip well taken, money well spent. So that's going to do it for this short video. I'll update it more when I have more to tell you about the Travelall. Until then, thanks for stopping by. Remember, I've got merch available here. Everything that gets purchased there goes right back into these trucks, so I appreciate anything you might want to buy. And I'll see you in a week or two.